What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the ItsGosu Razer MiniMadness tournament, brought to you by ItsGosu, also casted by Ziori and Kawa, and this is the semifinals. We have Mineski on the Raiden side versus DK, and unfortunately, even though this is a best-of-3 series, looks like they've only posted one replay, so I'm a little bit disappointed. But with me, as always, is Shred Kid. What's up, man?
I'm doing good. Just wondering how you're doing, B-Ballin', and I'm very excited to cast this game, seeing as I'm a huge fan of DK. So, you ready to get rolling?
Yep, so we'll unpause, because this is quite a long replay, in 3, 2, 1, go. So, just a little bit of background information on this tournament. It was actually slated for Mineski versus LGD in the opening rounds in the quarterfinals, but Mineski didn't show up, so LGD got a walkover win as I close away this bracket. And meanwhile, LGD they removed themselves from this tournament so that they could, be like Zenith and have more internal boot camping for the international too. So instead, Mineski was chosen to replace LGD since I guess they would have won the first matchup. So we have Mineski versus DK. And just some background information on Mineski as well. They haven't played too many Dota 2 matches since the last ItsGosu monthly Madness game we casted about a month ago. And they won the WCG qualifiers in their region of Asia. But yeah, hopefully we'll see some exciting Dota, as these two teams have definite clash of styles.
Absolutely. We see DK playing in the more traditional Chinese style, and while I don't want to say it's farm, 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 they do have burning on their team, so a lot of times they will employ a 4 protect 1 strategy. Mineski, on the other hand, well, why don't you explain them?
Their strategy is basically run around, kill everything, and win in the mid game. And they really rely on themselves on their experience, their coordination in team fights, because they're a very well coordinated team. But it works mostly better against Southeast Asian teams, but against another team like DK, who's seen their tricks from time again. And keep in mind that these two teams played in SMM 2011 in Dota 1, and I think DK won the whole tournament. So DK and Messi, they played each other a couple times before. So we'll see what teams decide to pick and ban in these opening stages. But against Mineski, expect to see pickups like Queen of Pain, maybe a Slardar, maybe Rubik, Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition. Not usually the standard Dota 2 pickups, but definitely very powerful in their own right.
Could see some Templar Assassin, too. If I'm right, Jay has a very good Templar Assassin. He's their TA player, right?
Yep, Jay is the TA player.
He's very good.
Yeah.
And, either way, expect to see some aggression. Not Russian-style aggression as much. The Southeast Asian scene has their own type of aggression, which isn't so much as run around its 5-man ganks. It's more of a 1 or 2 man trying to solo kill people. At least that's the way I see it.
Oh yeah. Well,
a lot of solo killing.
Yeah, they try to get on your heroes as fast as possible. And one thing you do got to compliment the Southeast Asian players on is their ability to farm their supports. Usually when they get Earthshaker or an Ancient Apparition like that, even if Earthshaker has abysmal farm within the first 15 minutes, even if he's 0 and 6 or something ridiculous, he always manages to find his Blink Dagger by around the 20-25 minute mark, regardless of the game situation. And against Mineski in particular, Lone Druid would not be a powerful pickup just because the Philippines know how to shut down Lone Druid like very few other regions in the world.
Yeah, they were the ones who first started employing Slardar to counter him, right? They just have Slardar basically run at him, and he has to run away, right?
Yeah.
They have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, either way.
Yeah, so I do not expect Burning to pick up the Lone Druid, but there's still a bunch of other Burning heroes, Anti-Mage, Morphling. I expect Morphling to be the pickup for DK for the carry, because right now they've been performing very, very well with the Morphling in that role. But Mineski has opening pickup, and we'll see if they go with the Rubik pickup. That's one of their main components. That's what they usually pick up for their first pick. And indeed, we do see a Rubik pickup. So it gives them a lot of versatility, but most likely he will be the support in the trial lane if Mineski decides to go with this. Although in Dota 2, Mineski have been known to experiment a bit more in using dual lanes, but the general playstyle is put Rubik in the trial lane and have him support.
Absolutely. Rubik is such a strong, powerful tri-laner, with his basically picking up someone and then throwing them and stunning other people.
Yeah, definitely. And we see Tinker and Chen, very, very strong pushers right off the bat. And if Chen pushes down a lot of early towers very early, Tinker will get very, very fast boots of travel. And it'll be difficult to counter this pickup right off the bat from DK. But what do you think Mineski should go for?
I was expecting a Chen pickup. I wasn't sure about the Tinker pickup, but you have to apply pressure to Tinker. You just can't not do it. With the March of the Machines build being so strong right now, it's just so good at giving you an early advantage, especially if you choose to stack the Ancients, which Chen can do with a neutral creep. So basically, the way you have to approach Tinker is you either have to have a way to get him out of position, which Rubik is capable of doing, or you have to have such strong ganking potential that you can gank him even while March is up, because you have to be able to kill him super fast if March of the Machines is going. Otherwise, he's just going to juke around for a little bit, and he'll end up with a double kill when you try to go gank him. So right now, it looks like Mineski is playing their cards close to the chest. They have Windrunner, Earthshaker, and Rubik, and all of these heroes have long-range disables, which is going to be fairly effective at controlling Tinker from a distance, but right now they have no direct counter to him. And it looks like DK is going for just a standard pushing tower controlling early pickups. With the Chan, he controls towers so well. Shadow Shaman will probably see as a support in the tri-lane. He controls towers, and of course Tinker with March of the Machines is unstoppable on towers, either pushing or defending. So we'll see what happens in the bans here.
Yeah, and just to go back to that Tinker point, Mineski, one of the things we saw in the last series that Storm performed very well, even though X played a fantastic Storm. Unfortunately, his team wasn't able to beat up DK enough, but he did a very good job against Super's Tinker. But Mineski is one of those teams who doesn't really like to pick Storm. They like to pick up Queen of Pain, who's a very mobile, burst-heavy hero. But Earthshaker, not very mobile until you get around that 20-minute mark, but he will be able to pick up his Blink Dagger if they manage to hold out that long. But right now, it's going to be all about surviving that early pressure and getting to the mid-game where they can start to apply their own pressure. So we'll see if they decide to ban out Burning Heroes, and then we'll see if DK decides to ban out Queen of Pain.
Right now, I'm trying to think of what Mineski to ban out to stop the push, and what they can even pick up to stop the push. Because right now, it looks like they're going to be playing on the back foot. It looks like DK can throw out more aggression right now than they can. So this is sort of uncharacteristic with Mineski not having ultra-aggressive picks. We might maybe see these three heroes in the tri-lane, the Earthshaker, Windrunner, Rubik, but I'm not sure. I think it's far more likely that Windrunner will solo. We see the Pandas pick coming out as a ban. That makes a lot of sense. You try to solidify your team fight. When you have more team fight, a lot of times it makes sense to get more ahead and ban out other team fight heroes so that you can really just take your one advantage and make sure you keep it. But I'm not entirely sure what DK is thinking about right now. They're taking their sweet time on this last ban, or the first ban.
Yeah, they definitely are. I'm surprised we're not seeing maybe a Morphling ban by Mineski. Maybe they're going to think about that with their last ban, but Morphling in conjunction with Tinker, my god, you'll have very little room to breathe, especially with the Chen, with the Hand of God healing you up. My god, that'll be so difficult to stop. But DK decides to ban out the Anti-Mage. Not usually a typical pickup for Mineski in conjunction with their tri-lane, but I guess a solid ban overall. Maybe they really didn't want to face that. But meanwhile, Mineski has the 5th ban, and they decide to ban out the Lone Druid. Very, very curious, but I guess it helps with the overall tower presence. If Tinker's marching machining you, you're not really going to get in position to fight the Lone Druid anyway.
Absolutely. I am a little bit iffy about the Anti-Mage ban. For the most part, Tinkers know how to deal with Anti-Mages. You think the traditional thought might be, oh, Tinker counters Anti-Mage, or Anti-Mage counters Tinker because Tinker uses mana and then Anti-Mage kills him. But most Tinkers know how to position themselves in the back so that Anti-Mage can't get on top of them with either a 4-staff or once you get that Hex up, Anti-Mage is useless. So I'm a little bit confused as to why he was banned, and I think it might be a predictive ban. Like DK wants to pick up something that they know will be shut down hard by Anti-Mage. But with the Morphling ban, it might just look like they're fearing the late game. I'm not entirely sure. What are your thoughts?
Well, Mineski has all the components for their tri-lane if they choose to run it. Looks like we're going to have Earthshaker, Shadow Demon in the tri-lane. Going to have a Rubik solo mid most likely, and a Windrunner soloing the top lane. So rather than seeing a support Rubik, we're going to see a high-level Rubik. I'm a pretty big fan of this just because Null Field is such an underrated skill, and giving your team a Hooded Defiance, basically magic resistance buff, and getting that nice level, and getting a fast Blink Dagger will be very, very important, especially against the Tinker. And Mineski, they do love to go 4-staff Blink Dagger on their Rubiks. So I expect a very mobile Rubik. So it looks like Mineski, they're trying to get some sort of counter to Tinker in the form of their Rubik soloing the mid lane, but they still have to pick up some late game. And meanwhile, DK's taking their sweet old time with this last pickup, and they decide to go for a bit of team fight on their own. They pick up the Tidehunter. What do you think about this?
I think that Mineski should have banned Tidehunter. I was thinking about what they should have banned. I think it would have been a smarter ban than the Pandas, simply because Tidehunter's a better defensive team fighter than Pandas. Pandas is more aggressive. And with the way DK is going to be positioned when they're pushing towers, they don't necessarily need to fight. With Rocket and March spam, including Chen creeps and the Shadow Shaman wards, they can take towers without ever engaging because Mineski can never approach them. So them picking up Pandas isn't that necessary, but them picking up Tidehunter just really means you cannot engage DK when they're trying to take a tower. And the Night Stalker pick makes a lot of sense. Try to silence the Tidehunter or Tinker when they're pushing the tower, and that way you can try to get a fight off quick and get one of them down fast. But I don't know. I think that Mineski's just going to have the towers pushed. I think that this is an outpick for DK.
Yeah, right now DK, they pretty much have the early game presence with the Chen. If Tinker gets farmed up with fast boots to travel, they have Rasta Servant Wars, they have Tidehunter team fight, and they have Mirana and Tinker going to the late game. Meanwhile, Mineski, they really just have the gank, and if they don't get the ganks off, then they're going to lose, because these heroes do not scare nearly as well in the late game as even a Rasta scales pretty well with his 2 disables. Tinker scales extraordinarily well. Mirana scales extraordinarily well. So Mineski, they're going to be in a bit of trouble if they don't get off to a good start, and that's going to be difficult up against a Chen and a Xiao Shaman.
I don't even think that if they get the ganks off successfully, they'll win. I think even if they gank nonstop, it doesn't matter because they have no way of taking towers. Look at the lineup. They can't kill towers, and DK can defend towers so well. Even if they're up a 10-kill advantage, if they get up 10-0 in the first 10 minutes, I still think DK will have the advantage.
Yeah, they just like you said, it's really going to have to come down to how fast Woots can get his Blink Dagger so he can get a solid initiation. So we'll see if Earthshaker can pick up some early farm. And maybe DK will just get some early tower aggression, but they can play to the late game, and they also have a strong turtling capacity as well. So meanwhile, we'll go over the players in the team. I'll go over Mineski. We have RR playing the Shadow Demon. Jay is playing the Rubik. Looks like 716 is going to be playing that Night Stalker. Woots is going to be playing the Earthshaker, and that means Jojo is playing the Windrunner, and I think 716 is Oa. But want to go over DK?
Absolutely. We have Burning on a farming pot. We are going to have Zippo on his trademark Shadow Shaman. We have Super playing the Tinker, which he's been doing non-stop lately. We're going to have Long DD on his Chat, and finally ROTK on the Tidehunter. And let me tell you what, I am excited to watch Burning play Potom, because the last time I saw it was about 2 years ago, and he played him as a support Potom initially into a farming Potom later. And I don't think that's going to happen now, but either way, I'm expecting big things.
Oh, he gets disrupted.
First attempt going out, disrupting going out on the Potom. We see her immediately thrown back, slammed by Night Stalker, and that's going to be a first blood going out for Shadow Demon.
Right, nice gold pickup from Mineski right at the bat, and they didn't pick up 2 couriers, so they're not going for a lot of ball crows this time, as it looks like Jojo is going to just have safe lane. It's pretty uncharacteristic to see Mineski running without the 2 couriers, but it's definitely more prevalent in Dota 2 than it is in Dota 1. And right now, Night Stalker is going to be slowing up against the Tinker in the mid lane. Night Stalker will have a nice bit of experience advantage, but Tinker should have relatively easy time, at least until the 5 minute 30 second mark hits, and then Tinker will be very, very scared.
Well, the issue with this lane is, well, Tinker's going to out-CS him at the beginning, definitely. But if Tinker goes for a March build, which is 99%, I'm 99% sure he will, doesn't matter if it's nighttime or not, because all he has to do is throw down 1 March of the Machines, and then all of a sudden it's super hard to gank him, because everybody who's trying to gank him is going to be taking a ton of damage. So, it's more of a defensive playstyle of playing Tinker with the March of the Machines, but against Night Stalker, it's exactly what you need.
And meanwhile, it looks like RR is just scared. Well, he was in the jungle for a good 20 seconds just trying to scare the Chen. And Chen is forced to pop a smoke at a seat and is going to go all the way to the bottom lane to get a creep to help out the Tidehunter, because Tidehunter is going to have an abysmal time up against Jojo, the Windrunner. So Chen is going to help out Tidehunter in this lane. ROTK not going to have. But it looks like Mineski, they're running pretty atypical lanes. I called the Rubik in the solo lane position, but it looks like RR is going to get arrowed, he's going to get shackled in a second. He casts a disruption. Looks like the Zippo was a little bit slow on the reaction. He actually was only level 1 and had the Ether Shock, but Mirana managed to pick up the last hit. Nonetheless, here comes the Telekinesis Slam, and Burning is going to take a couple more hits. Will he dive? One more Fable going in, and looks like Rubik picks up the last hit, but Shadow Demon managed to kill Rubik in return, or Shadow Shaman, and now Woots is forced to back up. So Zippo going to pick up some nice bit of experience, but right now, top lane, all sorts of chaos, but Burning got to be hurt down, but he still has all the time in the world to get his farm back going.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you get that far behind on Potom early, because you can always get back into it with your split pushing on Potom. And I would say that DK won that engage, 2 kills for 1, even though the Potom went down. Zippo's going to get a lot of EXP, and he's already 3, so he's got that 2 levels in Ether Shock, which will really help out the lane.
No doubt, no doubt. As looks like only DD still level 1, is just trying to get some early farm as we see our first pause of the game. And looks like a Go is immediately called after, as a little bit of lag called by Jay. But meanwhile, just checking out the early creep stats, Tinker 9-4, as Winner is not having as good of a time up against ROTK as I initially suspected. ROTK is managing himself very, very nicely indeed. So nicely done by ROTK, but as Winner picks up levels, ROTK is going to have to back up.
This lane is actually deceptively difficult for the Windrunner early. basically what happens is the Tidehunter gets the ranks up in Anchor Smash, and sometimes they'll even get 2 in Kraken Shell, and it's like your harass doesn't do anything. So you have to wait until you're at least level 5 on Windrunner and have a power shot up to start harassing him and pushing him out of lane, but by that time, Tidehunter will usually have a Ring of Health, and it just gets so hard to push him back. It's not quite as difficult as the Potom Tide matchup, but it's still a pretty hard matchup, to say the least.
Meanwhile, Long DD has a Furbolg, but Tinker is casting his March Machines. Looks like Nightstalker managed to pick up Super with the help of Earthshaker, and looks like Nightstalker taking so much damage from the March Machines, but I don't think Chen will go on the offensive. Nightstalker does have the ball, and unfortunately I did not see how that gank went. Looks like DK didn't have any wards protecting that side of the river, so Earthshaker was just free to roam out and gank up that Tinker, so Super is going to have a pretty difficult time now that Nightstalker is level 5 and has soul experience rather than the usual trialing Nightstalker we see so often these days.
Absolutely. If you look at the wards on the map, they are not protecting their Tinker mid from the tri-line top. They have one ward. Oh, looks like there's going to be a kill attempt going on top. Zippo gets thrown in the air. Defensive Fissure coming out. Offensive, excuse me, but Rubik's going to take him down with the last zap. Burning's backing up, but he'll be fine, it looks like. Got 3 stacks, but that's only... Oh, it is a level 2 Shadow Poison. And now the 4th stack misses. This is interesting. RR is actually leveling the Shadow Poison over the Soul Catcher.
Meanwhile, bottom lane is just so much chaos. Looks like Jojo managed to pick up a kill before as Super was dying, but it looks like ROTK, with the help of Chen and that Satyr Hellcaller creep, managed to pick up Jojo in the bottom lane, and ROTK is going to pick up level 6 very, very soon. And once they get Ravage up, that's going to mean a lot if Tyrant could teleport in, save their Tinker, because 716 is going to go on the offensive very, very soon. But it looks like DK going to roam in. Zippo is level 3 still. And he's going to go bottom rather than helping out his Tinker, because it's going to be first night very, very soon, and it's going to come down a lot to the play of 716 in this first night time.
I think this makes a lot of sense. Burning is, if he gets initiated on, he's probably going to die either way. Shadow Shaman can't save. So by backing up the Shadow Shaman and putting pressure on the Windrunner, with Tide almost having Ravage, they can actually force this Windrunner, if not all the way from EXP range, they can just make sure that Tide gets a ton of farm.
And nice job by the dual supports. A little bit of improper courier micro by Mineski as DK, Zippo, and Long D managed to kill that courier, and that's going to delay Jojo from refilling his bottle at whim, so he's going to have to be a bit more conservative. Well, of course, that 175 gold so useful, as looks like R is taking a very defensive stance, and Burning is not having a good time in this lane. He is level 5 though, surprisingly, so nice on him for getting that far. But First Night is approaching rapidly, and looks like there's going to be a hero migration bottom. ROTK still at healthy HP, but he does not have enough mana for Gush. But here comes Zippo with the help of the Chen. Windrun is casted, but unfortunately a really, really long-range Shackle comes in. Hex is casted as well. This Shockwave in conjunction with the Ether Shock and the Anchor Smash managed to clean up Jojo. And now they have a couple of creeps to get that push going on the bottom lane.
And it looks like the mana boots are going to be up on Tidehunter, which means their supports are going to have mana to push towers. The tower pushing is going to start at about 5 to 6 minutes in, and it's not going to stop until this game ends. DK just isn't going to give up pushing towers, unless they get horribly outplayed, but we'll see. Looks like there's an engage going on top. Oh, they get Burning Sal. That was a really nice Shadow Poison coming up from RR. They're not going to pursue him, but they might dive this tower after the next creep wave. We'll see if they do.
Tinker picks up an Invisron as Burning is going to retreat. Here comes the Fissure in conjunction with Disruption. A little bit of improper chain stunning. Here comes the Shadow Poison. Telekinesis and a couple of auto attacks, and looks like Rubik picks up the last hit. 716 comes in for good measure, and looks like they're going to try to get a tower push of their own. But meanwhile, the inexorable push of ROTK, Zippo, and Long DD on the bottom lane going to be pressuring Windrunner, but fortunately, Windrunner does have level 3 of that power shot, and is going to hit it level 4 very, very soon, and that's just going to tear up those creep waves. Meanwhile, Super not having really... Oh, he has the boots of speed. Last time I checked, he didn't, but he still has 1k gold in the bank, so he's going to be able to pick his boots of travel in a relatively short order.
Yeah, his farm's decent. It's not amazing. He was ganked. He's averaging about 4 to 5 creeps a minute. His BOT is going to be on time. I don't see how Mineski can really stop it unless they dedicate 3 heroes to sitting on him, and even if they do, it's whatever, because he can just go do the Ancients, which he's stacking right now. So they're not stacking it with the Chen creep, which a lot of teams like to do. Super's just going to do it by himself, but either way, going to be a lot of money.
And Chen is level 6. He's going to have the Hand of God if Nightstalker decides to dive in. And looks like 716 is just sort of running back and forth. Not really sure what to do. This is the power of March of Machines. You can't really get up close and personal with that Tinker if he has a couple stacks going. And March of Machines just does so much damage. But it looks like Burning's going to be in a bit of trouble on the top lane by a bit of trouble. I mean, he's totally screwed. And here comes the Telekinesis and the Fable in conjunction with the Fissure. And Burning dies once again. Can they finally kill this tower? No, it's still at above half HP, and looks like the glyph is going to be popped, so they're not going to push this tower. Meanwhile, mid lane tower takes the fall with the help of Zippo and Long DD. So Mineski, despite owning the top lane, are just getting pushed every other lane in existence.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. They kill Burning over and over, and this tower is at a half HP. Like, they needed to have taken some towers off of this, but none of the heroes can do it.
Yeah, 716 unfortunately has not had the impact because DK is just staying as 2 or 3, except for Super, the Tinker, and you don't really want to charge in March Machines, especially when Super is staying so close to his tower, just because the March Machines will just do so much damage, even to a relatively tanky hero like the Night Stalker. March Machines, pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's quite the ability, to say the least. And it looks like DK is going to continue. They have Ravage up. Super's invis, and he's got March of the Machines max, so yeah, it looks like they're going to try to take down this tower.
Woot's trying to get in position to drop a fissure, but ROTK going to poke his head out saying, "What's up, I'm here." But it looks like DK just going to migrate to the top lane.
And looks initiated on top, he gets disrupted, thrown up into the air, he's going to get Star Stormed and Fade Bolted. It looks like he'll live though, Hand of God comes out. Not necessary, but it still helps.
Uh-oh, here comes the DK support squad saying, "You harass our carry." Nice arrow by Burning, catching RR. RR is going to die very, very quickly. Nicely done by Burning. And this top lane is going to get pushed very, very soon as here comes the Gush. Can they get the Shackle? It latches on ROTK, but it does not latch onto a tree. And this tower is just going to die very, very quickly. Shadow Shaman not level 6. And nice fissure being placed by Woots, preventing a bit of the onslaught. And that's going to give enough time for the Shadow Demon to respawn and teleport back in. Here comes the Shadow Shot, latching on 2 heroes. Here comes the Power Shot. It misses Burning. A little bit poorly played there, but 776 is going to take the fall with the help of that Shackle and the Anchor Smash.
Yeah. DK is just winning this engage. I think that they're going to be able to take this tower. They still haven't used Ravage. Although the Disruption is going to go. It looks like they're going on Tidehunter. He's bursted down. Will he get the Ravage off? He does. It hits most of the hero. Tinker's TPing back in. The Windrunners go down immediately. Rubik's Shackle shot. He's going to get Starfalled on. Tinker lasers him. He's going to go down, but not before throwing Potom up in the air. Oh, but will he get away? Well, I'll be surprised if he doesn't. They're not even going to choose to pursue him. Wow.
They're unfortunate as RR just climbs back into the midst of everybody, says, "I want to die as well." And 8-7, DK is going to take the lead in terms of hero kills. And they have Chen creeps following them up. He can just go to the jungle and pick up a creep. But a little bit of commentary on that Windrunner play. Tidehunter Ravage, and then Burning just shot an arrow immediately after. So Burning really playing the spawn pretty solidly, despite having a ridiculously difficult time. But Super, does he have Boots of Travel? He does, and that's just going to be so difficult for Mineski to deal with. And Mineski, they're just going to farm up in different lanes, 716 trying to get as much farm because this first night is not having too much success. And it's going to come down to the second night. If they don't get a second night, Mineski's chances in this game is all but over.
Well, Rubik has managed to steal the March of the Machines, which is going to need to hold on and use a lot. This is their best tower defending spell aside from the Earthshaker Fissure and the Windrunner Power Shot.
Yeah, no doubt, as Long DD gonna farm up. He has enough money to get that buckler, so Mechanism in about 600 gold, should he choose to go for it. He already has the Arcane Boots as well. These supports getting quite farmed. Zippo, he has wards and 600 gold in the bank. Might pick up a Magic Wand, might just save it for the Blink Dagger, but here comes Initiation on Jojo. No, Tidehunter without Ravage, not too threatening, but Gush and Anchor Smash is going to be enough to scare Windrunner away. Here comes the Teleport in as March of Machines is going to be casted. Echo Slam being casted as well to delay the onslaught of Super. Here comes Burning as well. Looks like Star Storm is casted, but looks Woots is going to escape for now. Arrow's going to whiff as Mineski run complete opposite direction. Windrunner going to come in as well, but looks like that's going to be the end of that engagement. And unfortunately, Mineski, they're just sort of running around. They can't get any pushes going. They're not getting too much experience, and DK is just playing very, very solidly.
DK's plays, they're very hard to be aggressive against because of their picks, and it looks like Tinker's going to eventually do his stack now. He's probably going to stack it one more time and then do it, I think. And with this gold up, he'll have his Soul Ring finished, and he'll be much closer to his next item, which is probably a 4-staff. Super likes to go 4-staff most of the time, but...
Meanwhile, huge engagement on the top lane, as looks like Priestess of the Moon is going to pick off Rubik. And I think, yeah, Shadow Demon managed to teleport away, as just the leap in conjunction with the Anchor Smash, Gush, and the Chen creeps, enough to kill Rubik very, very quickly. As here comes Jojo, is going to try to pick off the Kurg. Will it be microed away? The Kurg is going to be microed away, as Power Shot was on cooldown, so he couldn't cut through the trees, as Moonlight Shadow is going to be casted as well. Hasted Jojo cannot accomplish too much. He's just going to run back and forth in circles. No men on the time to Ravage, as Jojo's going to be able to escape, but still saving the Kurg. A nice bit of micro by DK, as Mineski are in a bit of trouble, to say the least, as Tinker's going to get a lot of farm from these Ancients.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Tidehunter could have killed him there. He had mana boots, and that would have given him enough to ravage, but I think they're saving it to attack this tower, because they've been going for it for a really long time. Oh, Arrow's going to go out on Rubik, but it looks like no engage will happen. Yeah, it was a nice defensive fissure. Oh no, but great micro coming in. Looks like a Ravage is going to fly out, hit the Rubik. They're going to gust the Windrunner. She's backing up. I don't think they have any way of pursuing her, and then there's going to be a defensive fissure thrown out. But either way, that was some nice Chen micro. Did you see that?
Yeah, the creeps just sort of surrounded him, got a clap off just to hold Rubik in place, do a bit more damage. As, yeah, Tinker picked up 1k gold from those Ancients as well, so everything is going DK's way at the moment. But I think you're 1 second behind me a little bit. I don't know if you can go to the replay thing and just click fast forward at one time speed for a little bit.
I keep getting a little bit behind you and then speeding up and then getting behind and speeding up, but I don't know. I guess it's just what my computer does.
It's all good, as it looks like Mineski unable to get any pressure on any towers. Tinker gonna farm so ridiculously well. Fisher's gonna fly in, but Super is just gonna pressure him back. Hand of God being casted just for the heck of it, as they're determined to pick off this tower. Wards are dropped, and this tower is going to fall very, very rapidly. But Serpent Wards are stolen by the Rubik. Can he get the Shackle? He gets the Telekinesis. Chen going to be dropped back. Nicely done by Rubik, as he's unable to save the tower. But the Wards are going to kill the Wards. Some ward-on-ward action going on right there, as Burning is going to be able to escape. But still, a tower picked up for DK in exchange for Chen. Solid trade.
Yeah, it's not a bad trade at all. It was some really nice individual play coming out from the Rubik with his spell steals and then the ward placement and how he threw up the Chen into the air. All in all, I say that Jay right now is putting his team on his back. He's playing really well. It looks like there's going to be a power or shackle shot thrown out, but it's going to miss.
Yeah, Jay, very, very interesting player. Either he gets on a really, really dominant role and can just juke people back and forth, or he has a problem with overfeeding. But that's what happens when you play very aggressively, as 716 is going to get initiated on the bottom lane. And it's interesting to note that it's DK who's causing all this aggression rather than Mineski. Mineski's just sort of taking the brunt of all this aggression. Definitely not what you expect to see in a Mineski game, but DK just playing so aggressively and saying, hey, you pick a ganking lineup, we'll just out-gank you.
Well, that's what Tinker does. You can be aggressive in any lane that you want to be. Ooh, it looks like he's going to get fissured, interrupting his TP out. Tidehunter's running in to support him, though. They're not going to be able to apply any pressure. And Tidehunter daggers in, immediately Echo Slammed and Shackle Shotted. We're going to see a power shot flying out. Looks like they're going to get aggressive on Super. Super's got no mana, RTK has no mana, and it looks like this engage might be over. No. We see Windrunner is running back in. She's phase booting. They're trying to do everything they can to catch up, but Shackle Shot isn't going to latch, and I think Potom's ult's going to finally get them out of this engage.
Oh, looks like ROTK wants more. He casts the Anchor Smash and the Gush. Windrunner is going to have to run back, but it is nighttime. Nightstalker is going to go on the offensive. ROTK and Lacho pops some mana boots. Can he get a Ravage off? He's not going to use it. He knows he's in over his head. No, he's going to cast his Ravage very late. Only casts one hero. Fisher's going to be enough to clean off Tinker, and Tyrant is going to take the fall. A bit of a sloppy engagement by DK, but all the while Burning's going to be pushing on that top lane, and Mineski's going to have to teleport to defend that, but Burning's might be in bit of trouble. Does he have the silence? Burning's just going to try to leap away. Here comes Zippo. Hex is casted. Nighttime just wears off. Rubik's going to come in. Fade Bolt casted as well as the Telekinesis. Going to hold Burning in place. Telekinesis stuns 3 people. Starstorm being stolen. Beautifully done by Jay. And looks like Mineski managed to climb back up and kills, but still. Oh, looks like I'm going to pick up a bomb tower as well. So Mineski making a little bit of a comeback on the sloppiness of DK.
That was some really nice play by Jay, but I'll tell you what, that engage on bot lane, that was the most back and forth engage I've seen in a while. It's like one person chasing and the other person turns around. It's like a 90s cartoon. That's honestly what it reminded me of.
Just mad amounts of trolling back and forth. As, how is Super's gold really fast? 596. It just picked up the soaring. Does he have anything on the courier? Has staff of wizardry, so he's going to be able to finish that 4th staff very, very soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll get a 4th staff. I think Dagger's not quite as good against Earthshaker. And I think Super just prefers 4th staff anyway, usually. He's just farming, though. He's content to farm Ancients in the lane.
Indeed. It's safer, and he can stack it, so I guess he really doesn't want to face against the craziness of Jay and 716 if they come in to gank him, especially with their supports just so out of position. And I guess they don't really want to push aggressively without the Tidehunter ultimate or the Mirana ultimate. But we'll see if Mineski picks up Sentry Wards to counter it. No, they don't have Dust or Sentry Wards on any of their heroes, as looks like there might be a bit of engagement. No, looks like Jace is going to catch Starstorm as just checking out the items really fast. Jojo's going to pick up Mechanism very, very soon, but right now DK is just having all the farm, and that's due to the fact that they have a lot of towers thrown in.
Looks like there might be a bit of an engage going on, but they're going to back off, and Zippo's just going to immediately drop the wards and attack the tower. This is what I was talking about. They control the tower space so well. It's just so hard to push into DK when they try to attack a tower. Tinker's going to TP in. We're going to see a bunch of marches. The Wilkins is going to be so annoying. In combination with the rockets and March of the Machines, this tower is going to go down without even defense attempted.
Yep, Rubik picks the last hit as Tyrant is going to blink in, but Mineski's already backing up as the middle tier 2 tower is taken for free. Roshan picks a Blink Dagger, and that's just going to give Tinker even more security to roam in if he has the support nearby. Blink Dagger Tyrant, Blink Dagger Tinker, Moonlight Shout by Mirana, especially since Mineski has not picked up Detection, as Mirana's ultimate has been doing a lot of work, and it seems to be a recurring theme in these games I've been casting with you. Mirana's ultimate just does more work than I anticipated.
Yeah, I wanted to point out two things, actually. One, when you were focusing on action, Super was focusing on not dying to Ancients. He got down to 15 HP and had to cancel his rearm and run away. One more Ancient hit would have killed him. That would have been hilarious. And two, looks like that Bernie is going for a Mjolnir, and that will make me so happy if he actually gets that. That is old-school European bottom right there.
Nah, dude.
I hope it's not a Hannah Midas.
It's going to be a 20-minute Midas. If
Could be.
Hey, if DK picks up a Necrobook, then you're going to expect to see Mineski pick up Midas, regardless of how late the situation. But here comes the smoking, but nice reactions by Zippo, and DK is going to back up. But it looks like Mineski are going to finally take down this top tower. Unless, no, here comes the teleports. DK unwilling to let this happen for free, as long as he is across the map, so he won't be in. And Hand of God is still on cooldown, but Mineski going to group up. Just checking out Earthshaker farm 800 for dagger, so he's still on his pace to get a 22-minute dagger, should he choose to farm up if they had a couple more kills. But Mineski just going to back over for now. They know Tinker March Machine is just too difficult to push in, and that's the power of Tinker.
Yeah, every team from every part of the world is realizing how powerful March is. He's gone to actually a first pick and sometimes even banned. Out of, 3 or 4 months ago, nobody even touched him. It was a super situational pick.
Damn you, Bulba.
Yeah, Bulba's the reason why this hero is seen in every game nowadays.
Yep, has second night already happened? I don't think it has.
Let me think.
I don't think so.
No, it's gonna be the second night.
As Super disconnects, game is paused, so that gives us a little bit of time to check out the gold graph, last hits, all that jazz. As DK not able to make too much progression in terms of gold graph, but still providing a lot of pressure on the top lane. And just checking out the items. Super, Force Staff, Boots of Travel, Zippo, Blink Dagger, Mirana, still going for that Hand of Midas. As Mineski calls go, did Super reconnect? Yes, he did. As looks like there's going to be a Fable casted as well as Shadow Poisons, but DK staying far back. Hand of God casted as well, as the Jays might be in big trouble. He has a Force Staff, as the arrow was just going to barely lift. Here comes the teleport in by the Tinker, going to cast that March and Rockets just to scare Mineski away. But interesting use of Hand of God by Long DD.
Looks like this tower is gonna fall. I don't think that they can engage on it with the Tinker Rockets and March of the Machines coming out and the wards on the tower. I mean, they had two Wilkins before, but those died or were thrown into the air or something. And it looks like that Mineski is actually going to try to defend this. They have Earthshaker throwing out some fissures. They have oh no, I thought that Rubik had stolen March of the Machines, but it was just too many machines for me to be able to focus on.
As Dyer's Curry takes the fall once again, more gold going Mineski's way. As Nightstalker managed to kill that. Nightstalker gonna go for that BKB. Anything on DK side that goes through BKB? No, aside from palm right click. So,
actually, machines do
yeah,
too.
It does. As here comes Zippo, Blink Dagger. Jay's gonna take a lot of damage. Here comes the Ravage, blinking, catching multiple heroes. But Winner might just barely be able to escape. Looks like Rubik Biostack is gonna teleport in. As Moonlight Shout is gonna cast it once again. Can they escape? Zippo is taking a bunch of telekinesis damage in conjunction with that March Machine, but Force Staff and Mirana's ultimate just doing so much work. But Void gonna be casted. Super is gonna take the fall, and will Burning be able to escape? No, it looks like ROTK wants to come back in as well. Full HP, full mana. Can he do anything? But it looks like Tinker buys back as well. Here comes a Blinket by Zippo. Can they kill Jojo? Echo Slam catching multiple heroes as Jay picks up a double kill. Meanwhile, it looks like Winter took the fall, but Burning cleaning up heroes in the background as 716 trying to kill this Tyrant. He's going to get Hillary Persuasion. No, he dies at the last instant. Nicely done by Mineski. They're going to chase down this Chen as this Nightstalker's second night is just going to have a lot of effect as looks like Long ED is going to take the fall, pops the mechanism. Meanwhile, Burning is going to have to escape. Along DD is going to take the fall. He's juking like a madman. He's casting Penitence. And he's going to finally die. Actually, Jay picks up the kill just to troll 716 a little bit harder. But still, what a chaotic team fight. Multiple buybacks by both teams. Or rather, a single buyback by both teams. But Mineski came out on top. But still, they're going to have to be threatened because Tinker has no late game items at the moment. But what do you think about that team fight overall?
Mineski absolutely won the fight. It was very well played from them. It was just basically a perfect defense. It was executed so well. Like, I thought that they were going to lose it in the beginning just because of Tide Ravage instantly killing off Jay. But when he came back, it was just beautiful team coordination in order to hold it off. However, they didn't get anything done because they won that engage. Nothing happened. They got some kills, and they didn't take any towers. They didn't take any they didn't take Roshan, and they didn't even get any farm up on their heroes. NS did get his BKB, which is sort of important because it means he can just run at Tinker, but he'll still take damage from Potem and March of the Machine, so...
Looks like Jay stole Holy Persuasion, gonna give himself a nice creep army. Just help push on the creeps, and that's gonna be a bit annoying for DK to deal with just because those creeps are so tanky. And he picks up 2 Satyr Hellcallers, but it looks like Tyrant is gonna scare them away for now. But when the 5-minute duration ticks in, the creeps will die, right?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like Bernie's gonna get... Nope. Or Shaker deciding not to Fissure, although Shaker does have his Blink Dagger off.
Oh, here comes the Enchant Tome as Super was shackled for a huge amount of time as Tyrant managed to pick up the kill on Woots, as looks like Mineski just going to have to back up. Nightstalker did pop his BKB in that engagement, so it's going to be down as Ravage will be up, so Mineski going to have to defend, but looks like Jay managed to pick up tower in the midst of all that, and without Super, DK are in a lot of trouble as Mineski doing a nice job focus firing Super in every engagement.
No, absolutely. They realize that they have to kill the Tinker at the very beginning of team fights if they want to have a chance at all. And I'm very happy that they were able to finally take top tower. Their next goal is definitely mid tower, and it looks like DK says, no way, we're not going to let this happen. We're going to smoke gank you before you're allowed to do that and either take all your tier 2s or take Roshan. They might even be able to go for tier 3, we'll see.
Meanwhile, Rubik picks up a Blink Dagger, so Tinker's gonna have to be careful if he decides solo teleport, but Moonlight Shadow in conjunction, nice ward trap being casted by Zippo, gonna hold 716 in place, but force staff by Jay, gonna try to save him as Holy Persuasion gonna send him back, nicely done by Jay. Jay is just saving his team. Arrow's gonna be casted, will Jay escape? He is! Beautifully done, as unfortunately Woots is a little bit unlucky, he's gonna take the fall. But still, what a play by Jay, saving Nightstalker and then teleporting out. What a play.
Jay is so freaking good at this game. He really is. It was very, again, he's putting his team on his back right now with his individual skill. And Zippo had a great ward trap and great initiation, but Jay basically just says, nope, not gonna happen.
Yep, but Ravage is gonna be down. Meanwhile, Echo Slam will be up when Earthshaker decides to take the next engagement. Looks like DK gonna try to go for Roshan. Here comes Tinker with the teleport in. I don't know if they can do this as Mineski surely know what's up, as they have a couple curves. They have a ward DK does to scout out Mineski's movement, but this Roshan going down very, very rapidly. Will Mineski get the push in? They must know something's up. They have no vision.
They might be ignoring it because of March of the Machines. Super hard to engage on Roshan when there's 3 marches up.
Yeah, but when everybody's clumped in, you have Echo Slam, and it's not like you're fighting a Ravage.
That's true.
But Roshan is going to finally take the fall as middle tower was taken. Bernie picks up the Aegis. Nightstalker pops the regeneration rune. Looks like Mineski going to finally take this engagement. Super's going to be the first one initiated on as Silence is going to be cast. Can Super escape? Looks like he's going to try to teleport out. No, one last hit by the Nightstalker managed to clean him up as Super's just losing gold so rapidly. Here comes a Blink Dagger. Telekinesis is going to lift up Burning as he's leaping in the air. What an unusual sight. But they're going to ignore Burning for now. Go on ROTK. ROTK gonna get his Blink Dagger cancelled rapidly. ROTK is gonna take the fall as well. As Mineski in this mid game, they're just thriving on this chaos, and that's what Mineski loves to do. They thrive on chaos.
If you look at their lineup, they have 5 hard, accurate, guaranteed disables. And DK doesn't. DK has Ravage, and they have Zippo, and Arrow sort of counts.
Right, and it's going to be important if Zippo manages to finish his BKB. It'll be so important in helping lock down Jay or something like that, just because he's so mobile with the Blink Dagger and the Force Staff. Meanwhile, looks like Mineski getting a mount and push. How long is Tyrant to Ravage? It'll be up, but Tyrant is going to be dead for another 15 seconds. So this middle tier 2 tower might take the fall. Winner is going to pop the Focus Fire, and this middle tier 2 tower is going to take the fall. Jay is going to take the arrow, just running into the path just because he can. And yeah, free tier 2 tower, so Mineski making a nice recovery. But keep in mind, Burning did pick up the Aegis. And how far away is he from Mjolnir?
He's pretty far.
Yeah, he is pretty far.
It's not even close, actually.
Is that his Ogre Club?
Oh, that might be. I thought it was just going to go straight for Mjolnir, but yeah, he might be getting a BKB, which would make a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just because even with the Leap and Moonlight Shadow, despite Mineski not picking up detection, you're just going to get locked down with so many disables, like you mentioned. And it would really behoove Mineski to pick up a gem, but who would they place it on? Nightstalker is going to constantly be running in to March Machines. So we'll see if they decide to pick up a gem. As here comes a Hex by Zippo onto RR. Shackle in conjunction with the Tinker Laser Rocket. Gonna be enough to clean up the kill. As Ken Zippo retreat is gonna cast a teleport. Mineski unable to pick up any retribution for that kill. As the global ganking party of DK getting in position. And Jay is forced to mourn the loss of his teammate for now.
Yeah, it's Tinker goes in and out, and it looks like Burning is getting initiated on, but he's just going to TP immediately after the mini stun comes out from Mena, so it looks like he's going to be safe. And DK has a gem, but yeah, Mineski still hasn't picked one up.
Yeah,
Moonlight. I know you were mentioning that. They might be waiting for Nightstalker's Aghanims to be finished, at which point you see everything.
This is true. This is true. As he has 2 components, and he's going to pick up a third very, very soon, so it's going to be done by around in about 4 more minutes if he picks up a couple more kills or enough farm. But we'll see if DK has anything to say about that. Looks like DK gonna play a bit more conservatively, knowing that Mineski's lineup is strong in mid game without any BKBs on their side. So DK playing pretty conservatively for now, and Super's not even gonna teleport anywhere. He's just looking for his opportunity, and he's gonna finally teleport to the top lane since it's pushed in. But DK changing up the playstyle, and this is the mark of a top team, just being able to constantly adapt.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I think Mineski has a bit of an advantage in engages, simply because of the BKB on Nightstalker, the dagger on Earthshaker, and all of their disables. But DK says, hey, we can wait. We can be patient. We don't feel the need to engage when we're at a disadvantage, and we know we'll be at an advantage later. Once Tinker has Hex, Bottom has more stuff, and so they say, hey, we'll do this.
Yeah, but Tinker's just been dying so often, he doesn't even have any components to his Hex just yet. So it's going to be a long time in coming, as can they get the Shackle? Here comes the teleport in, as Mineski's going to have to back up for now. As Zippo's going to blink in, can he cast a Hex? He does on Jojoro. Will they get Nishion? Will they get baited? Here comes Jay. He casts a Telekinesis on Zippo. Moonlight Shadow being casted once again. Here comes the Echo Slam being casted just on Zippo, as they can't see him. Huge mistake by Mineski, as that ultimate was so important. And Mineski's going to have to play pretty defensively for now, without that Echo Slam.
That was some strange Dota, to say the least. I'm not really sure why they tried to Echo Slam him. It's just a Shadow Shaman after all, but they're gonna have to try to engage now without it, and that's gonna be huge. Sure, bottom ult's down, but I think it's more important that... Oh, Shackle Shot's gonna latch on Burning. It looks like they are gonna follow up. Earthshaker blinks in, Hand of God fires out. We see Zippo going in. Burning's taking so much damage, and it looks like he's gonna fall while Aegis is used. We see Tidehunter Ravage going off. March of the Machines is killing everything, and Burning comes back, and it looks like Jay's gonna take the fall, and that's gonna be that engage.
Yep, another beautiful ward trap by Zippo, locking Jojoro in place, but still Force Staff usage by RRS, just multiple Force Staffs going back and forth as ROTK wants to go on the offensive, has enough mana for Gush, he blinks it, but no, now he's out of mana for Gush, as he's caught completely alone, but still full HP, they can't go on him. But still, beautiful play by Zippo catching Jojoro in that ward trap. But still, overall, Aegis for a Rubik kill? Reasonable exchange. Not the best, but still reasonable.
Well, at this point, any exchanges that don't heavily benefit Mineski are a win for DK. Like, even if DK loses an exchange, it doesn't really matter that much because the clock is ticking. You are going to be late game against the Tinker, you're going to be late game against the Potom. They have no answer to it. So, as long as Mineski isn't winning exchanges like 3-0, 4-1, or whatever, it's a win for DK.
Nightstalker finally fishes Aghanims, and I'd really like to see some freaking detection on Mineski. Come on, this Potom ultimate shouldn't be this effective. I mean, it's an underrated ultimate, but it shouldn't be, you know, saving the lives of so many DK teammates. Meanwhile, Super, does he have any items? Finally, he's going to finally pick up a Mystic Staff very, very soon, but he might just save it for buyback, as Super's just been pressed down ever so much in these mid-game, just because they've been constantly focusing him. As Mineski, I guess they know how to deal with the heavy farmers for now, like Londred and even Mobile and like Tinker.
That's just the thing, though. I'm not sure if they are dealing with it. Sure, they're killing them, but the way to deal with farmers is you gotta push. Like, you gotta end the game. and they're not. And I know I said this like 4 or 5 times already. I sound like a broken record, but it's that needs to be the main thing in Mineski's brain right now. It's got to be, we need to take towers, because sooner or later they're gonna have to go for tier 3.
Yep, as just looking at the hero levels, 2 level 16s on Simon Mineski, but look at poor, unfortunate RR, the Shadow Demon, is at level 9. Very, very
Everyone else
unfortunate.
is even, and then Shadow Demon. Oh, wow.
Unfortunate. Meanwhile, just checking out the current gold, you can see Tinker going to have enough for his Mystic Staff. Earthshaker has 2200, maybe he'll pick up a gem or Ghost Scepter or something like that, just to protect himself, as Rubik has another 1700. Rubik will most likely build towards the eventual Hex. And looks like
Likely.
Night Stalker has the most net worth. Very interesting stats.
Can you answer a question for me?
Yep.
Look at Shadow Demon's skill build. This is strange, at least to me. He's not maxing Soul Catcher. Instead of liking to max Disruption, well, first he maxed Poison, now he's maxing Disruption. Do you know if they always do this? I mean, Mineski?
Unfortunately, in Dota 1, you can't really tell the skill build as well, just because you can't click on the heroes and see the skill build. But I think they put 2 points in Soul Catcher and then max Shadow Poison and then max Disruption. So I think they just really like that lower cooldown on Disruption.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and I guess in these chaotic teamfights, they won't be able to latch. It's not like they're ganking solo kills. I don't know, maybe they're just trying to fit the situation or something.
I'm gonna think about this, and I'll have something for you later, because I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll get back to you on this.
It sounds good. Burning 1200 from his BKB. Zippo, not too much of anything. He's quite far away from his own BKB, but still he's done a fantastic job. Man, Zippo is just such an underrated, but whenever we see him play Shadow Shaman these past couple of games, he's just been dominating.
I got in a disagreement with some of my friends because I said Zippo's the best Shadow Shaman and he's the best Earthshaker in the world. I think his initiation heroes are on a point that no one else is quite on. Like, I've never seen him mess up an initiation in like the past year or so. He just does it perfectly every time.
Yeah, and he always manages to find his items, even without... He's the support in a tri lane, and he's just helping out his heroes constantly. But still, his Shadow Shaman, his Earthshaker, I haven't seen it in a while, but it's still very, very powerful.
Oh man, his Earthshaker's so good.
Yep.
It's so good. We'll see though. Part of it was that Burning died and he got like a bunch of kills off of it, so he got his dagger up at like 17, 18 minutes, but it doesn't change the fact that, sure, he was handing a couple kills, but he's still playing so well.
Indeed, indeed. As Pipe is finally finished by ROTK, that's going to prevent so much damage on the side of Mineski. Echo Slam will suddenly be a lot less threatening. Fable as well. So Pipe by ROTK, nice move there. As Meal Aghanims is finished, but still, come on, Mineski, pick up some detection. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they have item slots for it. Like, ES has an item slot, and he has a break. Shadow Demon, not really. He's not even carrying a TP, to be honest.
Yep.
But they do have item slots. It's not like it's something that's lacking for them.
Meanwhile, DK is just warding it up with the help of that gem. Is that 2 wards placed by Zippo in the same location? No, I guess
Let me take a look.
No, that ward was just about to expire in 40 seconds, so
Oh, yeah, you couldn't really see it because it was over the green dot.
yeah, so looks like Mineski is trying to mount a bit of a tower push. Who is in the background? RR is going to try to pick up whatever front possible for now, as DK has no Ravage, so I don't know if Mineski knows this though. Maybe they wrote it down, maybe not.
It'll
as
be
Super's going to teleport.
I think I've actually talked to some pro players about if they write down Ravage, and they say a lot of times they have their manager write down when Ravage goes, so they know exactly when it's going to be up in a team fight or not.
Yeah, Ravage and Pen Ultimate, 2 of those ultimates, such long cooldowns, it's such a game-breaking spell when they're casted. As he's going to initiation on Super, it looks like Winter are already at around half HP, and Mineski's going to back up for now as Bottom Tower is going to be pressured so heavily. They're going to have to kill the wards with the help of Shadow Poison. And can they get the deny up at the very least? This tower taking so much damage. Will they be able to get the deny? Let's go, Mineski. No, they're going to ignore
possible. Even if they all hit it at the same time, they couldn't have done it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It was just the damage just didn't work right because of the way the Shadow Shaman wards increment it.
Even with doing piercing damage?
It was you know how it takes it's like they all fire at once.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they all fired, and then it was at too much HP for even if all 3 of them hit it to deny it again, and then they hit it to finish it off. You know, it's not like incremental. It's chunk, chunk, chunk.
I see.
If that makes any sense.
Yep. I don't know what to say. Oh, another brilliant move by
No,
Zippo,
that was just
perfectly
something
calculating, perfectly calculating the damage by Sean's horns.
Oh, check it out, dude. I think Tide's going for a refresher. Could be a force staff. I think it's gonna be a refresher.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be a refresher. ROTK. And if he picks up refresher, I mean, even before then, this game looking very, very good for Mineski. They can't get anything going, and like you said, they have nothing that can really help them tower engagements because Earthshaker, unfortunately, DK is not clumping, so he can't get that perfect Echo Slam. So it's really going to have to come down to DK making a bunch of mistakes and leaving themselves open because right now the creep equilibrium constantly on Mineski's side of the map. They can't get anything going if they manage to get a gank off.
It's always gonna be with the Tinker. If you don't have like a Furion or Morphling on your team and you're against the Tinker, you will just have the creeps on your side of the map. It's just how it works. And something that they could do, which they haven't yet, is what some teams like to do when they're getting super frustrated against a Tinker, is they just sit 3 heroes in a lane that Tinker isn't in, and they have a hero in each other lane, and basically they sit the 3 heroes smoked in the lane that Tinker's going to TP to, and then he TPs to it, and then they just kill him instantly. I haven't done that yet, but I like to see him do it.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Earthshaker has around 3k gold. He's saving a lot. Usually, what the Pinoys do is that they pick up Force Staff after the Blink Tower on Earthshaker, and then try to build into Egg Scepter or Ghost Scepter, or something like that just to help them survive a bit more. But they don't usually save up this much gold, so maybe Earthshakers just get an item, or maybe save them for a lot of buyback.
Could be... I don't know that much about Pinoy or Shaker, but it could be a Veil, because a lot of times it's not like the items help you for Veil, it's a crappy build-up, so they could be saving for all that? I don't know. And if it was a Force Staff, he would have already bought it. And Earthshaker doesn't need to hold buyback, because it's like you just go and you get your combo off and you die, and then you don't need to buy back. I don't know.
Yep. Meanwhile, Jay still quite far away from his Hex. Meanwhile, Tinker has picked up that Ultimate Orb and has enough money for a buyback, so he's going to be able to pick up the Hex uninterrupted at around maybe 38-minute mark if he doesn't die once again. Meanwhile, Burning, he still has the Maelstrom and he finally has the BKB, so he's going to be very difficult to deal with. And Maelstrom, one of the best DPS increasing items in the game, if not the best.
Oh, it looks like there's going to be an engage going off. Jojo is shackled, he's nuked down by Chen, and it looks like the engage is just going to fizzle out and we'll go for Roshan after that. I don't think that Mineski can engage into Roshan. But no, Super's going to TP out and it looks like he's just going to push some other lanes.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the downfall of not having any wards. DK just saw JoJo's movement the entire time and then said, surprise, and just totally ganked him. And ward's pretty expendable at this point. It's going to be up in time for most team fights. If not, Ward and Rabbit should be up. And it's not like they're going to press any towers down very soon. The tier 2 tower on the top lane, below half HP, so they can kill that even without wards if the team fight goes according to plan. But it looks like Mineski going to smoke up, go into the Roche pit, just see what's up. And will DK respond? Looks like Mineski, with the help of the wards that Jay stole, going to try to go for the Roshan engagement themselves. Very, very sneaky. Can they do it? I don't think DK suspects a thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they were able to pull this off. This is a really ballsy move.
Yeah. Did they ward trap Rosh? I think they did. No, I guess they didn't. Roshan's too fat. But Woots is going to reveal himself. Oh, no. He might just be outside the Observer Ward range. As Night Stalker picks up the Aegis, he popped his BKB. Not sure why, but he's going to teleport out.
Defensive. It makes a lot of sense. If Tide blinks in and they didn't have vision of where Tide is and then Ravages, he's just going to die, so...
So, stealing the Aegis right underneath the DK's nose. DK, a little bit annoyed, I'm sure.
Oh, I love that play from Mineski, though. Like, they had to make something happen, and when you just go for something that risky and it pays off, it's just such a good feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just like, haha, you weren't expecting this, were you? Even with all your wards and your gem and all your fancy items.
All your fancy detection items, we don't need any of them. But it looks like Earthshaker's going for Aghanims, and I actually wanted to comment on this, because I didn't say it when it first happened. The reason why I think Burning went for the Maelstrom is because it's such a good pushing item on bottom. It's the best way to split push on her. If you want to play her as a split pusher, which, like, if she's pushing out one half of the map and Tinker's doing the other half of the map, the creep equilibrium is always going to be in your favor because of that Maelstrom, at least with bottom. It's a very good pushing item, and I think that's why he did it. Yeah,
definitely in conjunction with that, the Tinker. Mineski's going to have no chance at towers unless they win an overwhelming engagement. And if everybody on DK has no buyback and they're dead for a minute and a half. It just takes him so long to push in. As Super, does he have the Hex? He's going to be able to buy it, but he's most likely going to save a bit of money for buyback.
Yeah, I think he'll hold buyback, because if they had their tier 2 up mid, he could do it, but they don't. So if he gets picked off without buyback, they might actually lose to tier 3. So he's just going to wait. I think. I could be wrong. And it looks like I am wrong. He's going to buy it right now.
Hey, I was wrong too, as he picks up the finish X. I guess he doesn't think that Mineski's going to engage. Maybe it's a bit of a mind game. Maybe Mineski will think he has to buy back. Ooh, mind games.
I know, right? I'm trying to think of what both teams are waiting for. It makes sense that DK was waiting for the Hex on Tinker. But what is Mineski waiting for? Possibly the Hex up on Jay? Like, he's got his 4-staff. They got 4-staff on Shadow Demon. Windrunner's got a lot of stuff. Earthshaker is very close to Ags. That's probably what they're waiting for. And Nightstalker isn't close to any major item. He has BOT, which is great for countering Tinker, but he's not close to anything else. So they might just be waiting for that Aghanim Scepter on Earthshaker. And he's almost there. 2K or 200 more gold.
You know, Windrunner has a Mithril Hammer. That might be for either BKB or Deso. I'm gonna guess, or Maelstrom, probably Maelstrom, to help counter push.
Yeah, I think Maelstrom's more likely than a Deso.
I love Deso, though.
Either way, I'd be happy if she got either of them. I don't think she really needs a BKB, right? I mean,
no, she's in the back line. I mean, she's getting initiated on.
Maelstrom will help counter push when the Chen creeps and stuff around the tower, so I think that's going to be preferred. And they haven't got that much physical DPS anyway, so I don't think Deso's going to help. Like, that's more of an item you get when your entire team has some physical DPS, so I don't know.
You know, Earthshaker is going to be able to pick up his finish Aghanims right about now, as the courier is going to go back to the base, ship Earthshaker that fancy item, and then we'll see how Mineski decides to proceed. But all the while, ROTK is going to get dangerously close to finishing that Refresher Orb, has the Oblivion Staff. And once he picks up a Refresher, there's no chance of Mineski winning any team fights.
It could happen, if he gets silenced by Nightstalker and then ignored, so the debuff doesn't happen, and then they just kill the rest of DK. That's like the only way it could happen, I think. But he's not that close to it. If you remember how much the item costs, I think it's like 1875.
Yeah, 1875 for the recipe,
and then he's got another like 18 for the thing. So he's like what, 2.5k away? It's gonna be a while.
Still getting dangerously close. Zippo has that BKB finally. Burning picks up a Demon Edge, probably gonna go for MKB to counter Windrunner, and just because it's such a good damage item. As looks like Nightstalker, he finally has a gem, so I guess they're gonna do something with the gem. We'll see in a bit as Mineski trying to look for any opening, but DK, such an experienced team, they're not going to give Mineski, as this is unusually patient by Mineski, but I guess they feel like they can't really be aggressive, just because, you know, what can they do if they're aggressive? They're going to run to Titan to Ravage?
It's tough. DK's got so much counter-aggression. If that makes sense, they have a Shadow Shaman can shut down gank, Chen can send people home, Tidehunter can Ravage and run away. Obviously, much of the machine's an infinite 4-staff on Tinker, and then, you know, Bottom's just hard to kill. I wanted to say though, when you're talking about MKB, I think MKB would be preferable in this situation simply because one, she doesn't have that much attack damage, so that it's going to give her, or attack speed, I'm sorry. So it will help her more than Bariza in terms of raw DPS, and two, I think this is the biggest one, it'll let her shoot uphill into the tower when they're pushing the tier 3. And that way, she doesn't even have to get in close to hit the tower, she can just shoot from far away and she'll always hit it. And with the way they engage towers, with being spaced out with wards, Tinker, etc., I think it's a really safe way of pushing. And I think that's why MKB will be a great item for burning.
Jay has mixed his staff, but looks like Mineski wants to make something happen, as looks like Nightstalker's going to get hexed.
Oh.
Jojo.
I'm really excited, and then...
Jojo, really, man? As Woodskull's wait. A bit unfortunate, but Hex is up on Nightstalker. He does have the Aegis, so we'll see if they sacrifice Aegis as Jay disconnects from the game. As we're going to hear that annoying teleport animation sound just beep in the constant, or just go constantly in the back of the engagement. You know, just check out DK's positioning. Tinker, he's out of mana, so he's going to have to teleport back. So this might not be the best fight for DK to take.
Where exactly are you in this replay? Like second. I just want to make sure we're in the same point.
46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51.
Okay, now we're in the same place.
As Jojo...
I was 5 seconds ahead somehow. Somehow I got ahead this time.
Oh.
I don't even know.
Well, it looks like that pause lasting more than 5 seconds, as Jay's taking a while to reconnect to the game. Looks like they're going to go anyway, as Long D resumes, because Mineski did call to say go. Jojo said go. So no fault, no bad manners by DK. Jojo just said go. As I guess they were expecting Jay to reconnect a bit faster.
Little did they know it was a strategic pause. They're working out exactly how this team fights.
Yeah,
they
forced F716 away.
I don't know. I think DK is going to take this team fight with Tidehunter, Ravage Up, and Dagger. And you just look at where Mineski's positioned. I think they can melt Earthshaker if they choose to do it. I think they can melt Earthshaker before he even has a chance of fighting. However, they don't know that they're all there because of the smoke. So we'll see how this plays out. The smoke is the one advantage that Mineski has in this team fight. If they can get Earthshaker in before Tidehunter gets in, and you know that Earthshaker's going to be spamming Dagger because they have the vision and Tidehunter doesn't. If Earthshaker gets in first, then they can maybe win the team fight. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, Super doesn't have buyback, and he still does not have enough mana to sufficiently spam all his things. Well, I guess Soaring in the bottle, he'll have a couple more times to rearm and then teleport back.
He has one Hex and one March.
Yeah, so he's going to have to go back. As looks like Jojo is going to go for that BKB. Not too sure how I feel about this. Don't like it, but whatever. He's going to go for it, and it's still quite a far away. Meanwhile, Burning, he has no teleport scroll. So he's just going to be stuck in the middle of no man's land. So he can't can't speak. Can't join this engagement until the team fight is at least half over. So DK's positioning not the best, but this is clearly, they weren't expecting to take a team fight in this situation.
No, and well, they won't have to for a while at least, because Mineski's dropping like flies. He got 3 disconnects out by this point.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, because this is the Singapore server. Maybe there's something at the LAN cafe they play at, which
yeah,
is
I'm guessing it's a LAN cafe issue.
Yeah, because
DK seems to be fine.
Yeah, in the Philippines, all the teams play in LAN cafes for the most part, I think. That's at least what I figure. And that's what they do in China as well. So
yeah.
It's common through all of South Asia. So playing in LAN cafes is definitely going to help you out in a LAN environment. But right now,
you're
DK's
used to having your teammates there if you're like in the same LAN cafe as them. It really is an advantage to have them there in person as opposed to, just over Skype or whatever. I don't know. It's just a different dynamic. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, and also, if you get mad at somebody, you can't really stay mad at them because they're right there in your face. You're just like,
yeah, that's another thing. It really helps out team chemistry when you're all there in the same place.
Yeah, just...
That might be... I figured it out. That's why PGG is better on LAN. It's because he's not quite as much of a jerk when he's there with his teammates in person. It's my theory. Might be right.
No, it's because he brings vodka to all his teammates and just hooks them up. Just keep him nice and loose. But yeah.
So this pause can feasibly go for like 20 more minutes. Do you want me to check how long it is?
Sure. As, yeah, no signs of any reconnects. 3 people have disconnected on Mineski.
Okay, I'm fast forwarding and I'll tell you when it kicks in.
Yep. As just judging from this game, we're about a week until the International 2 starts up. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to prior engagement right when the finals action's going to be heating up. So, just going to give us a quick thoughts on International. No, looks like 716 is reconnected as...
No, hang on. They all disconnected.
Oh, they did?
Just all disconnected. Burning said ZZZ, and then someone on DK goes, we'll kill all of them now. No, they're still struggling. I'm at like 106, 107. Nobody's in the game.
Oh, so might as well, since we're in a bit of downtime and I don't really know, unless I make like a video blog or something, just saying predictions for International 2. Hey, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Here's who I think is going to do well. Zenith, Navi, of course. I think MTW will do well. EG should do well. I think Darer will do well. I think M5 will do amazingly or extremely poorly. And I think Orange will do well. And those are my picks.
Yeah, the only really top Chinese teams I see doing, I think DK, they're looking a bit better just because, they've slipped up in Dota 1. They slipped up in Dota 1, they're only number 3, meanwhile LGD, IG, number 2 and 1 respectively. And DK, they've been looking pretty strong in this tournament, so I think, and considering LGD is the best Chinese team at the moment, I think DK and LGD the best chance for the Chinese.
I do
too. I think
I don't think China's going to do that well, though. I thought they would in the last one. Oh, it looks like we're ready. Fast forward to about 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 50 seconds is where I am.
Alright, just to go a little bit on my rant, I think the G's are going to do very well. So that is to say, Darer, CLG, and EG. I think they're going to do
I don't
really
know
well.
if CLG is going to do that well. I actually think that they'll do fairly poorly.
They've been looking so strong.
They have been looking strong, but I think that other teams know how they like to play. Like them and MTW are both very
Formulaic.
Formulaic. There we go. I'm supposed to be a math major. Formulaic in how they play, and I think both of those teams are sort of. A lot of teams know how to approach CLG and MTW, but I think MTW on the whole has a more. It's hard to explain, but I think that their strategy is harder to counter than CLG's.
Yeah. Nah, I personally am a CLG fan, so I'm hoping they'll do well. Meanwhile, looks like everybody is starting to reconnect. What time are you at?
I'm at 1:14:50. Is they're saying that they're all ready?
Yeah, I'm at 14:54.
Okay. I'll get up to there and then we'll unpause.
Yep. As both teams trying to get back in the game, everybody's reconnected. As yeah, we're gonna see how this team fight shapes up.
You ready?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go. As this game is still paused.
That was anticlimactic. Man, we'll see.
We'll see in a second. But yeah, just to go back, I think Dara will do surprisingly well, considering how poorly. I think. Oh, more disconnects. Nice job, buddy. Nice job, Jay.
You said Dara will do well, you think?
Yeah, I think Dara will do well, just because they've just been.
They're unpredictable.
Yeah, they're very. Thinking about these very Eastern European teams, they just have this weird chemistry. Like M5, I think will do. Of course, like I'm going through all my favorite teams. Dara, I like M5. I like. Orange. I'm a fan of. So I want all my favorite teams to do well, and then just the rest of them can just scoot.
They'll all do okay. I mean, it's hard because I don't root against any team, but if I had to pick my favorites, it would probably be my 3 favorite teams are Zenith, M5, and Dare.
Yeah.
Just because they get in your face. Like, what other teams are going to do like a Zeus Coddle aggressive duel lane? I mean...
Oh, here comes on pause.
Engage goes off, Shadow Shaman disrupting, and it looks like Mineski's going to back off immediately. They don't want to fight into this. Wow, we waited 15 minutes for that.
Oh my god, I'm about to like crack up, burst out laughing just because of that extraordinary troll. But yeah, just...
I was waiting for both teams to just like slam into each other in huge initiations, and no.
Yep. So, DK, content to play this style. This is the style they've known to play with, but DK, very, very aggressive for a lot of Chinese teams, and Chinese playstyles just adapted so much, so it's not really say Chinese playstyles to sit back and farm. It is Chinese playstyle to wait for your opponents to make a mistake, but that's just a safe way to play Dota.
They're safer, but they're nowhere near their rights for 60 minutes then win strategies that they used to have.
Yeah. And
China, again, they are farm-centric, but when I say they're farm-centric, it's a different farm-centric than 6.68 farm-centric.
This is true. Even 7-0, when Morphling was having all the rage.
Yeah, they've been moving away from it for a long time now, and they finally have. Like, Burning, if this was, a year or two ago, Burning would have, like, these items, but tripled.
You'd have MKB, EBKB, something KB. They should just add more KBs in there. With the triple scepters, Dagon, Ghost Scepter, Aghanims. Just have a bunch of KBs in there. The White King bar.
Both teams are kind of running around the map at this point. It doesn't really look like either team has a huge aim. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. They're going to bait the Tinker. Tinker's going to split push. They're going to bait him. He can 4-staff out, it looks like, and then they'll be able to take the tower. Yeah, by putting the Tinker in there, they force TPs to bot tower, and now they'll be able to control the middle and bottom parts of the map.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, so tower going to take a bit more damage. Mineski just going to sit back. Unfortunately, I was not... Oh yeah, we're observers. I don't even have to note down the Roshan timer, as I think I switched away from the all Fog of War. No, I can't even see the Rosh timer. That's a bit weird.
It's about 3 minutes. A little less, too.
Yeah, and DK won't let that happen again. Let Mineski just take it ages.
That was,
right from underneath
that was
the
a
nose.
surprise.
So, Mineski, now is the best time, or within the next minute, so they can have... if they manage to win a team fight, White Sucker can still have the Aegis or still be full enough HP to push in. Otherwise, they're just going to lose so much of their potential, as Darkness is going to be popped. They're going to wait for somebody to teleport in, but DK clearly knows what the strategy is. As Super's going to come in, but here comes Jay with the initiation. Looks like they're initiating on Super. Moonlight Shadow is cast, but there is a gem up, but Super does have buyback. That's the important fact. Echo Slam's already used as Woots does take the fall. Zippo's going to channel his ultimate. He's going to Ward Trap Night Stalker once again. Night Stalker, or sorry, that was Jay, as Jay takes the fall as well. So very, very poor engagement from Mineski, and they didn't even have to use Ravage. DK, that is. So.
And holy crap, Zippo's good at this game. Another perfect engage. It's just like every single one is done perfectly. It really is.
He's just... If they had fun names for servant wards, it would just be Zippo.
Yep.
Maybe that'll be something that Valve will pay for. Just to have Zippo lighters coming up instead of the... just get some brand recognition from Zippo.
But in all seriousness, I don't know. With losing that engage, I don't know how Mineski wins this game anymore.
Yeah, by the time Earthshaker has his ultimate again, Night Stalker's Aegis will time out. DK, they didn't even kill Tinker, and he has so much gold to work with. He will probably go for Shivas, might go for Matt for split pushing. What do you usually do for Tinker? Because I know you're a big Tinker fan.
Oh, what do I do? It's really extremely variable. At this point, your options are Dagger is very good. Lincoln's is very good. Shivas is okay. People have moved away from it. I personally don't like it myself. Manta doesn't... It's not as good as in Dota 1. And Dagon 5 is a legitimate item, which you'll see pros get. I don't know how much Super does it, but I know it's fairly common in the Eastern European scene, and even America. If you get your Tinker Super farm, you just put a Dagon 5 on him. I think that it's most likely that we'll see a Ghost Scepter. So NS can't hit him. That's my guess. But he would have bought that already, so we'll see.
Yep, Jojo finally finishes the BKB. They still have the Aegis in the gem. No, Aegis is going to time out very, very soon. As Night Stalker has picked up a helmet down here. They want Super, but the Shadow Shot misses. Here comes the Hex on Night Stalker. Will they go on the engagement? Yes, 716 gets Gush. He's going to take a lot of damage. Another Hex coming in from the Tinker. The power of Tinker just showing to be so effective. As winner pops BKB, can't get anything done as Mineski unfortunately cannot find any openings. DK just proving to be an unbreakable wall at this point. And Mineski can't get DK to slip up. DK just playing these engagements perfectly, and Roshan perfectly timed, respawns, and now Mineski, they're just going to be in so much trouble.
It's just going to be brutal. I don't think they can win this engagement. With Tidehunter Ravage up and ES ulti down. Oh no, it's up by now. But either way, yeah, I don't think they can take it, and they're not even going to try.
Yeah, and they can't even push any creep pick over him. You know, the top lane, or the bottom lane, and the top lane is all on the side of Mineski. So Mirage going to pick up the Aegis. Cheese will most likely... Looks like ROTK is venturing towards it.
Yeah, here's why. Tinker can just buy back immediately. Whereas if Tide gets focused down, it'll be hard for him to win the fight, and then he can't get there again. So if Tinker goes down, he can buy back. That's like an Aegis. We have Aegis essentially up on ROTK, because Kraken Trust is going to let him use it, and Aegis on Burning. It's basically like, it's an 8v5 at this point. And I'm sorry, my dog is barking. I gotta deal with him, so you talk for a bit.
It sounds good. As the dog was agreeing with the commentary, as here comes ROTK, cast the Ravage, catching 3 heroes. Jay's gonna blink back in. Here comes the arrow, as it looks like the Hex is gonna go down. RR is the first one to take the fall. Meanwhile, Woots is gonna be shortly to fall afterward. Earthshaker takes the fall as well. Jay's gonna try to get as fast out of there as possible, but a BKB Windrunner is gonna, or Zippo is gonna go in, shackle the Night Stalker. Night Stalker loses a gem. Does Eddie and Mineski have buybacks? Rubik disconnects the game. Tinker disconnects from the game. And we have our pause. But still, beautiful engagement taken by DK as they won that convincingly, won that 3-0. And they're going to get a gem for their troubles. I don't think even... No, Chen didn't even lose that original gem just because he hasn't died. So DK just going to have another gem to hold on to if Chen should ever lose this. But right now, DK looks in such dominating position. I really don't see any way for Mineski to come back from this situation. Because Bottom is going to start doing damage now. She's already doing damage. But yet she's finished the MKB, has the BKB as well. She's going to get only more and more powerful. Meanwhile, Tinker has 4.5k gold in the bank. Can go for Lincolns or Manta to get rid of the silence or anything like that if it's casted on him. Meanwhile,
I think he'll go for Lincolns or Shivas. I think.
Yeah.
If he gets a Lincolns, all of a sudden you can't get shackled. Night Stalker silence doesn't work. There's just so much. Like, if you look at the single target disables from Mineski, I think Lincolns is a great choice. He might. No, he would have gotten BKB if he was going to do it by now, but I don't know. It's always hard to guess what Tinker's going to make, but yeah, I am back. I completely missed that engage, but it looks like DK just dominated them.
It was basically Tyrant blinked in. Oh, we're not in like the same game, so I was going to ping in here and say, you know, near the spot where you place a ward on the top lane. Tyrant blink there, just to see the paths, the convergence on the paths. Tyrant blink there, and Shadow Demon and Earthshaker were just sort of staying there. I guess they were having a bit of troubles or something like that, or anything like that. No pauses dropped or anything. Maybe they were just a bit slow on their action, but Tyrant blinked in, got 3 people on the Ravage. Night Stalker tried to do his best to escape, but Zippo just blinked in with the BKB, shackled Night Stalker for the roll duration, and then they just focused on Night Stalker. They have another gem for their troubles. Maybe they'll just put on Zippo just so he can look a bit more pretty.
Yeah, gotta get those accessories up.
Gotta get that bling.
Bling bling, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, I'll never say that again. Sorry, everybody. I was supposed to be ironic. It sounded serious. Anyway,
that sounds
it looks
so
like
awkward.
DK's just gonna take a tier 3. I don't know if Mineski can defend at this point. I don't know what they can do.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for another pause. Super disconnected as well. But it looks like he reconnected it. Looks like they're just going to wait on Jay. Jay managed to teleport out in the action, as Molly is a little bit annoyed, saying, how longer do we have to wait? As understandably so, because...
It's been a long game.
Yeah. So... Looks like the PCS restarted again. This LAN cafe not working out too well for Mineski at this point.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good. So, just checking out more items and stuff. Next album coming out. MC Shred Kid.
Mally says if he's not back by this time, you're gonna play 4v5. You already paused the game for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty understandable.
Mally's annoyed. Yeah, I mean it is completely understandable.
Yep, and meanwhile,
right, Mally just said go. Yeah, Mally's telling them to go 4v5.
Oh.
Let me see exactly when they resume, and I'll tell you when to start.
Yeah, no, you pause the game for like 45 minutes. As
Mineski says, give us 10 more minutes. Ali says no. The game almost took 2 hours.
So, deceptively long replay.
Okay. Here we go. 129.40.
129.40, okay.
They're gonna play 4v5.
So we disconnected Jay, their best player.
Jay, and he's not back.
Always very, very disappointing when you lose your best player. 129 what?
I'm at 129.40, exactly.
Okay, so I'm just going to fast forward there, as G is called by Mineski as 37, 38, 39, 40, pause.
Okay, you ready?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go. As DK says, no time for us to squander, we have to go to the international training and do all that, as Mineski's going to say it's okay.
Yeah,
they
the
apologize.
Game's over anyway. Although, if they pull this out victory 4v5, this will be like one of the best Dota comebacks of all time. Not sure how it'll happen, but I'd like to see it.
Just waiting for OTK pick up his refresher. No, he's going to save for buyback.
He farmed it.
Yeah, he's farmed it, but he's just going to save for buyback. Why not? As this top tower is going to take the fall. Hand of God used because he has acronyms. Looks like there's going to be an engagement. Windrunner takes the fall as well. Looks like... Oh my god, Rubik's gonna die once again. Jay improperly microed. Jay is surely disappointed in his teammates at the LAN Cafe, just saying, come on guys, really?
Our bad.
But DK gonna take this tier 3 tower, and I honestly don't see any way from Mineski. They couldn't even get past the river normally, and with the racks down. Oh man, that top lane is just gonna be brutal.
No, I think they're just gonna go straight for throne. They don't even have to take the another lane of racks.
Yep. So, I think Mineski overall played solidly, but their picks just didn't do very well.
Their play was fine. It was an outdraft. I don't think it's a winnable draft.
Yeah, Mineski played surprisingly well, as Earthshaker Echo Slam does a huge amount of damage.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
But Pipe is just like, lol. As only Tinker dies, but Tinker buys back. Mirana picks up another kill. Zippo is going to take the fall as well. 716 doing a lot of damage, but it's a little too late. As Tyrant has the refresher, is going to blink back in, cast another Ravage. Kills more and more heroes. As more buybacks flying from Mineski. They're holding on for dear life. Never give up, never surrender, but Winner is going to get hexed as DK is going to finally back up. I think DK was sort of expecting Mineski to just sort of take that line down, but Mineski have a bit more pride than that, and they're just going to fight it out, which you got to respect. I mean, they've already waited an hour and a half to play this game. Might as well
I
see
think
it
it
through.
would have been a lot more disrespectful to not fight it out at this point. Like, you waited so long at this point, you better fight it out, you know? Like, if they, had they waited like 15-20 minutes for Jay to come back, and then they wipe, and then they just instantly say GG and leave the game, like 30 seconds after, I think that would be disrespectful. But what they're doing right now is classy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, all the practice that DK can get. So they're definitely probably not too disappointed by this. It's not really like good practice, but not like this game wasn't good practice. This game, Mineski played solidly, but just this closing minute and a half as Founding Farm going on. Mineski calls GG as Woot says DK is his idol, and that's definitely you know, they met up in the SMM 2011. Mineski got 3rd place, a very huge surprise, and DK proved to be very
Zippo with another perfect ward trap.
On himself.
This one's on himself.
Zippo having a little bit of fun. As GG is called, and I think we know why this game wasn't best of 3.
That would explain it.
Yep. So I guess not wishing to have any more disconnect issues, not wishing to play without Jay, and just as a little bit of a mini apology to ItsGosu for taking so long. They're just gonna not play the second game because I don't think Jay would have come back anyway.
Oh wow, I'm surprised that Zippo was able to escape from that. That was a clutch mech and stuff.
Uh-oh, Burning getting out DPS by Night Stalker. Oh, mutually assured destruction.
Oh, it was that. I got both of them. I thought it was Burning was gonna win that fight, but oh well. There's no way yeah, I was gonna say, Zippo already escaped once. It's not happening again. Burning buys up his BOT, comes in. Wonderful arrow, 10 out of 10. But yeah, I was really impressed with Burning's bottom. I think he had some sick arrows early game.
Yeah, Mineski played solidly, but it just came down to being outpicked. They couldn't do anything once it passed the only 52 minutes game. Well, they couldn't do anything after the 35-minute mark.
I think if you open Tinker Chen, or if like the enemy opens Tinker Chen, and then you have like point-and-click disables like ES, Windrunner, whatever, I think that you just can't do that. You need to pick up something to deal with Tinker immediately, like a Storm Spirit, the Queen of Pain to an extent, some ranged initiator who can get the Tinker out of position. And I think that's why they lost. I think that they didn't have any way of dealing with him. Even though they killed him over and over, they couldn't control him in fights. So the ganking worked on him, but the team fights didn't.
Yeah, and you can see from the chat, Mineski saying, or DK saying go, and Mineski saying K, but unfortunately there is no game 2. So May, they tried to play it for a bit, and then there was more disconnect issues. But DK did win the series, so they're going to be in the grand finals of the ItsGosu Razer MiniMadness tournament. A nice little tournament, and DK's been showing a lot of strength. And they've been looking very, very shaky in the past couple months for Dota 2. But it's nice to see them looking very, very strong at this point.
They were absolutely on point this game. Looking forward to seeing them in the rest of the tournament.
Yep, so we're going to see DK in the grand finals, but right now we're only casting more of the semi-final matches, so stay tuned and stick around. As always, you can catch these matches on ItsGosu, but if you want my cast as well as Shredkid, who has a YouTube channel, so care to pimp out that URL?
The URL doesn't exist yet. I fixed my technical issues. I still have to make the actual channel. It's probably going to be like Shredkid Dota, but we'll see. That might be taken, I don't know. So I don't want to, you know, tell people something that doesn't exist yet.
It's okay, just when...
I'll let you know in the next cast.
Yeah, when this happens, you know, we'll let you know. But right now you can follow him at twitch.tv/shred_kid. But thank you all for watching, and have a fantastic